Dear sir, I'm honored to be presenting you about homeschooling, which I feel should be encouraged to reform education in the United States. Homeschooling is in great demand right now. Being the US Secretary of Education, I'm sure you are aware that there is a constant increase in homeschool students year after year. In 2007, the number of homeschool students was 1.5 million, an increase from 850K in 1999 through 1.1 million in 2003. I believe there are multiple reasons why this is true because in current school systems, there is issues of bullying, poor student to teacher ratio, poor learning environments, and decrease in test scores. Now let's look at homeschool children's interaction with people. Many people believe that homeschool children do not learn to interact with the world outside their home. But that's not true. Unlike public school children, homeschool children have more time to spend outside. In fact, the Washington Times have said in all areas of life, from gaining employment to being satisfied with their homeschooling, to participating in community activities, to voting, homeschoolers were more active and involved than public school counterparts. In terms of financial problems, currently there is no financial support for families who homeschool because property taxes go to the school district in which parents live. According to Investopedia.com, a popular financial website, the cost of homeschooling can average anywhere from $300 to $2,500 a year per student. This may not include the cost of internet connection, supplies, museum membership, etc. While these costs may seem minimal to some families, it is the cost of giving up a parent's full-time job and either staying at home or finding a part-time work, which is where the real cost of homeschooling comes in. As you have seen, homeschooling benefits families and their children. Mr. Duncan, you may already know that a good portion of the property tax money that families pay goes towards public schools, and families who choose to send their kids to homeschools still have to pay this tax even though they are not using the services of their local school districts. If this tax money could be forgiven in the case of homeschooling families, it would help them have less financial burden, increasing the amount of families who could homeschool their children. The difference in the amount of money taken from homeschooling families through property taxes would be offset by the fewer number of students in the classroom. To really understand why homeschooling works way better than public schools is by looking at the study by Homeschool Legal Defense Association, which shows that homeschoolers have outperformed public school students in many ways, and the more longer the students stay in homeschool, the much better they perform than public school students. And in general, the homeschoolers have much greater attention from the teacher than in public schools. Now let's look at how technology is used in homeschooling. Many people today think that technology is a must to have, but all information regarding learning can be found in books and in person. Most local libraries also have computers and other technologies for free to be used by the public. If all students did use technology alone, that would harm their thinking because the brains of every student does require them to interact with other people and do hands-on work, which is not possible by just sitting on a computer or using technologies. There are a couple of arguments against the use of technology. One of them argues about the concern on mathematicians using handheld graphing calculators found on an article on Educational Resources Information Center. The arguments against technology use are centered on three main issues by this article. It talks about how technology can change the focus of mathematics curriculum and change how students conceptualize mathematics. and also whether the benefits of technology outweighs the cost. As a nation, we may still be good in reading, but what about math and science? Math and science are essential subjects that make up our future scientists, doctors, engineers, and teachers. Year after year, we're getting further and further behind as a nation. The New York Times published article shows the statistics of our rankings, which are not that great. So we have to make sure that our students get the best education possible. While it may initially be seen as a drastic measure to change our state property tax laws, it is one that will no doubt encourage people to consider homeschooling and give their children the best education possible, while allowing those who still believe in traditional system to benefit as well. Thank you for your time and attention to this matter.